hopefully you guys are excited that you got a little bit of running room. Jeremy, Pete, Heavy Metal Minivan. We are on our way home from PowerCon. If you guys have watched episodes 3, 4, and 5, you noticed that we were on our way to PowerCon.
Yep.
Now that we're on our way home, we're hoping that you guys are digging this content. And so you probably understand the format. We each bring 3 songs to the table, and we share some of our favorite heavy metal music. Again, understanding that heavy metal is kind of a broad term. And also, too, definition-wise, you don't necessarily have to agree because something can be more metal to you. Jeremy hears things as obviously a very talented musician. He hears things and he hears metal vibes, and he goes, "Oh," and I'm like, "Oh, that's a good song." Well, but, you know, and then too, like I'm like the bedding section at the department store. I'm the softer side of Sears, and so some of my stuff, while maybe is not classical heavy metal music, it definitely has influences from heavy metal. So our last episode, we did our first kind of off script.
Yeah.
And we did
Dedicated
6. Yeah.
To the one band, which was fun. I could see that happening in the future if we can come with like a, one that we kind of cross over with or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was fun. That was Seven Dust. Big fans of that. So coming back to the normal format, I guess. So far, anyway. I don't know what my 3 are going to be. You at least know what one of them
I got one, yep. So, and I, ironically enough, too, kind of carrying over from the last episode, again, talking about Seven Dust, we mentioned the song that Seven Dust contributed to an album called Straight Up. They did a song called Angel's Song. We didn't play it, but it's an amazing song. It started off kind of as an acoustic ballad, and then they actually recorded it on Home, right?
Yep, yeah.
As a full band, produced song. That album,
Animosity. It was on Animosity.
It was on Animosity. Yep. So they did an entire album. It was basically a dedication to James Lynn Strait, who was the lead singer of a band called Snot.
Great band name, by the way.
Yes, absolutely. And they were kind of up and comers, and they really hadn't made it big. And unfortunately, on the ride to a recording session for their second album, like August of '98, I think.
Okay.
Was killed in a car accident, along with his boxer Dobbs, who was like at all the recordings, was always on stage with him.
He was on the album cover and stuff, wasn't he?
Yeah, yep. He was on the album cover for their debut, self-titled. So sad story. A bunch of musicians came together and did an album, and the album kind of like was like to benefit his family and what have you. And it was that album at the time had everybody who was anybody as a part of it. I mean, there's songs from Korn, the Deftones, and a lot of it was members of the bands working with the remaining members of Snot and doing the songs.
Right.
Seven Dust, System of a Down, the lead singer of Kitty was on there. Limp Bizkit, like I said, Deftones, Korn. It was kind of a who's who album, and it's really good. Head PE was on there.
Yeah, all the shit I would have scoffed at the time.
But everything that I was eating doubles of.
Right.
Great band name, Snot. Great first album name, also Snot. First track was called Snot. So here we go.
Perfect.
And it's the in your face, like, this is who we are.
Tell the people what you feel. Fuck the record.
And I love the guitar. Little funk.
Very pingy snare drum that defined a lot of the bands from this era. Gotta say, wasn't a fan at the time, but now it really kicks you in the dick.
Hey James, how you want to open the album? A song about who we are and how we're better than every one of you motherfuckers. Can you slow down? Just can't be.
I always love it when the bass follows the drums. vocalist too, or was that?
That I don't know.
Okay.
Love this.
Making that
Bass
snare
needs a
drum
little-
awesome before Lars Ulrich fucked it up for everybody. Now that's a snotty sounding bass tone.
Some of their songs on this album too. There's you can feel a little bit of a reggae vibe, maybe almost a little Sublime hanging on in the very background. Look at sound.
You can tell with this vibe, these guys probably would have been pretty huge at the time.
Oh yeah.
I dig that too. You got the wah over here, you got the kind of funky guitar over here.
Is that a pedal that's doing that?
Yeah, wah pedal. I remember somebody tried to tell me these guys reminded them of Metallica, but that was their selling of it for me. I'm like, nope. Oh, double time. Well, that was fun.
It is, man, and it's one of those tunes where, like I said, and the album was good. Like I said, it had quite a few good songs on it. But like I said, yeah, I mean, they never even released a second album due to the death of the lead singer.
Yeah.
So
it's interesting too, because the obviously they got pretty popular, or I mean they did, and that tribute album was very popular as well. And it's just kind of like, should they have gone on and got another singer or whatever, or was it the smart thing to do to kind of end? Because I thought I heard that some of the members went off and started other bands, or at least joined other bands and stuff. But yeah, obviously that's kind of the one.
right,
That's all you get.
And that's the thing too, is it's you see it sometimes where you replace lead singers, and obviously music can be pretty incestuous. You see people jump around and form different bands and what have you, and link up and do side projects, or just straight replace people. And
right,
one of the Soil got brought up during one of the episodes offhand, and I saw them live, and then very shortly after that, the lead singer of Drowning Pool left, so he left and became the lead singer there. And then you've got obviously Phil Anselmo leaving Pantera, and they had, was it Brain Damaged?
Oh, Damage Plan.
Damage Plan.
Yeah, they ended up getting a new bass player and a new singer. Well, I mean, I guess we wouldn't say new technically, because I think the singer was actually the guitar player in Fight, which was a Rob Halford thing, after Judas Priest, before Judas Priest again. So, like his 90s, heavy stuff. And then, I think Bob Zilla was the name of the bass player. I don't know. It was a pretty fun album for what it was, but it wasn't Pantera.
Well, but then eventually too, I want to say, Dimebag and Vinny, the drummer, they were. Was it Hell Yeah?
Oh,
and that's the lead singer of Mudvayne that is singing with them for Hell Yeah.
Yep.
So
no, it would have been. Hell Yeah was actually after Dimebag, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. I'm getting my timelines confused.
Yeah, but no, Vinny. That's kind of what got Vinny playing out again and stuff. So.
Right. But 3 Days Grace lost their lead singer. He created a band called Saint Asonia with Mike Bushak from Stained. 3 Days Grace went on without him as their lead singer. And it's good, but it's not him.
Right.
And you I listened to even just that one song, and you kind of go, the only way Snot ever is successful is they just got to get somebody that sounds exactly like him.
Right.
There's no room for them to evolve and still be what they were.
Yeah.
The Adam Lambert singing with Queen.
Right.
Like
Great
you've gotta,
singer, works, but
but you need to sound like Freddie Mercury.
Yes,
You'd be able
exactly.
to go the Asian guy in Journey. Like
Yeah,
he
you're
got
right.
the job because he sounds like Steve Perry, not because he's a great
well,
singer.
Same thing with
He
Judas
sounds like,
Priest
you know,
too, when they got Ripper singing with them. So, but yeah, that's probably the best way to go.
Well, if you think about one of the most famous singer replacements, when you talk about one of the biggest rock bands in the history of the goddamn world,
Yeah.
is AC/DC.
Yeah.
Well, they got a guy that just sings like, was it Bon Scott or whatever his name was that died?
Right, yeah.
You
Brian
know?
Johnson came in. And,
Brian Johnson came in and we hired him because he sounds like this.
but then he did his own thing too, and you're like,
Right.
oh shit. But yeah, very rare to switch a singer and still be popular.
and still be what you were, like I
Yeah.
said, without you're just trying to do a direct replacement or
Right,
whatever.
right.
So, but
Sweet. So, my choice is by a band that I don't know a lot by, but they have I think 3 or 4 vocals. I think all of them might sing. It's a band called Mastodon. And I had to find there it is. And I've always kind of dug what they did, but just never really got into them as much because I am a sucker for like a pop format, and they were kind of not really that. They were a little sludgier and stuff. Totally respect them. Just wasn't huge into them. Love their kind of humor and stuff. But this song, it's a song that their drummer sings, and maybe it was a combination of the song and the video. Number one, really catchy, but the video's got a bunch of big booty bitches shaking their asses in like a garage. So it's fucking funny, and it's awesome, and it's amazing. So this song is called The Mother Lode. Phenomenal drummer, by the way.
yeah, it sounds like it. Obviously, I've heard about these guys for years.
Yeah.
I've never investigated them. And he's playing the drums and singing this song.
Yes, sir.
You know I'm a sucker
Right.
for a singing drummer, man.
Check out this chorus, man. Fucking those fills! And I think this is the bass player singing this next part.
Name another band where everybody can sing and sing well.
Right. Maybe Queen?
The Eagles.
Yeah, the Eagles. Great note choices to sing there, too. And that riff is just fun. Got fucking energy. I love songs with energy. They amp me up, goddammit.
Well, it's super catchy. And everything. I love a drummer that's like, I refuse to not equally hit all of my drum heads.
Right.
You know what I
I'm
mean?
not playing for the song.
Right. It's not about playing favorites. It's gonna be a little ride. You got
Yeah,
to.
baby. Nothing like a good instrumental break. Yeah, I got toms. Want to hear them?
14 of them.
Yeah. Droney guitar with some harmony shit here.
That makes me think of Jack Black's School of Rock.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take a solo there if you don't mind. I'm just feeling it. You know what I mean?
Yes. Drums, man.
I picture like a giant hair metal kit
Yes.
up on the stage. You know what I mean?
And I honestly don't know what kind of kit he plays or how big it is, but
you
God
know,
damn, even if it's 3 drums, it sounds like a million.
But that's great drummers can do that.
Yes, absolutely.
You give them a snare, a floor tom, a bass, and a hi-hat. They're gonna melt your face off.
Exactly.
That was a great tune, man.
Yeah, that's one that's always like it's always a go-to. Like, you know what? I definitely love songs that you want to kick a dog to, and that is probably number one.
We just kicked your dog.
Yeah. You need a dog to get kicked? This is the soundtrack. So yeah, there you go.
Good tune. All right.
Thanks, man.
That's the second band that I'm going to listen to more now because of Heavy Metal Minivan.
Yeah.
Gojira.
Yep.
And now Mastodon.
Sweet.
So,
that's all I can do is spread the love, man.
I appreciate it. Ironically enough, we actually just mentioned one of the bands that my next song is, and this one was actually on my original list. I went and saw these guys live. They opened for Rob Zombie and Ozzy.
Okay.
And this was this was Slipknot time, so these guys were all painted up, they were faced up. I was reading Hit Parader like it was going out of style.
Oh,
right?
who wasn't? Come on.
And I remember reading an article about these guys, and like they all have advanced degrees, like they're all wicked smart.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm there, and I'm in the crowd, and I'm watching these guys play, and I was a fan of theirs before this, and they were one of the bands. Like I wanted to see this band more than I wanted to see Ozzy, right?
Okay.
But in this would have been 2001. Ozzy isn't going to be around much longer. You don't pass up an opportunity to see him. Well,
Sure.
I was wrong.
You were all wrong. Yeah.
At any rate, he's up there and he wore these huge, oversized coveralls, body painted, and he's just covered in fake blood, bullet hole in his forehead, right? And he's like, he notices a kid in the crowd or whatever, and he's like talking about this, and he goes on this little rant, and it's short and it's sweet, but it's talking about how like you've got to show up for your kids, and you've got to be there for them, and you've got to love them, and how they depend on you, and like this little like, and I'm like, you've got a bullet hole in your forehead.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
All right. I'm not sure you're the guy who should be saying this, but okay.
Right. So, and this song was, they closed with this song because it was their hit at the time. And this is by Mudvayne, and it's called Dig.
All right.
Just building. Oh, speed check reported ahead. Not during Mudvayne.
I always like
most family-friendly lyrics or message, you know.
His vocals
That's the
actually
guitarist as well.
okay. I'd say those vocals kind of remind me of Pantera in a way.
Pro-suicide, we are pro-mental health.
Yes.
If you need help, call the suicide helpline. Let me help you duck the wrong way off the ledge. Let me help you pull the gun against your head. Let me help you duck the wrong way off your ledge. Let me help you duck the wrong way off the ledge. Let me help you pull the gun against your head. Let me help you take the exercise of life. You're the right one. Oh yeah, that riff is just there.
Very syncopated and catchy as fuck.
And I feel like the bass is playing the same notes as the guitar.
Yeah.
Is that what you mean by syncopated?
Just not very. Oh, there you go. Hey, I'll tell you a second. There you go, the end of the song. Just very like I love the space in between the notes, like, and it like holds for a second. It's just like some sweet riffage, just real. I don't know, yeah, syncopated. But no, and obviously they're playing in unison there. And what's great about it is, you know, when you have, they're already tuned down, but like when you have that bass going right with that guitar riff, it's just so fat and thick. And I like fat and thick, right. So hence my physique.
Got to have a fat sound.
All right. Let's see. I got a couple choices here.
Oh, off of LD50.
Yeah, and that was not their first album, but their first mainstream album, maybe?
I believe so, yeah.
I remember that came out, like, being like, I wanted to shit all over it, because I'm like, who are these makeup-wearing crazy fucks? And I was like, okay, that's pretty interesting. Like, I didn't go out and get the album, but I was still like, I'm not going to talk shit about it. So...
Well, in their second album had some great songs. Happy is on their second album,
right?
You know, or I'm sorry, I think it's actually their third album. Their follow up to LD50.
Yeah.
You talk about wearing earlier before we started recording this episode. You talk about being into Green Day, like wearing a tie to school or whatever, like those things that we did. So I went and bought a Backstreet Boys T-shirt that had Nick Carter on it. And then I painted his face like the lead singer of Mudvayne, and I wore it to school because like I was badass,
right?
With my Jinko jeans, you know what I mean? And then I was dating my wife at the time, and she would just ride in the pocket of my Jinkos, and we would just cruise around town. So
that's so good.
Jinkos, man.
Jinkos, man. Yeah, I couldn't do those, but they were fun. How do I follow that up? I don't know that I can well, so I'm going to do it anyway. This is also by a band that I don't listen to a lot. I had one album, and that's the album this is from. But they were a huge influence on many of the grunge bands, especially Nirvana and Kurt Cobain specifically, and that is the Melvins, which they kind of... and that's kind of like what grunge was, especially at the beginning. It was heavy music, but it was also kind of poppy and catchy, but kind of punky. But
because I would have always classified the Melvins as punk,
right?
In my head, you know what I mean?
Right. But they to me, like, they just kind of had that down-tuned, sludgy, like drop D, you know, heavy.
Oh, dude, I was raised in drop D. I mean, you think about the bands that I've played on this, drop D is where it's at.
Once I
You know what
discovered
mean?
drop D, that shit was over.
like Korn, both the guys from Korn run 7-string Ibanez guitars.
Yeah.
And I think they were like drop double D, like all three of the top strings were
Even
all
low,
D,
they were like drop A or
Right.
some shit. Yeah,
Yes.
they were low as fuck. And those of you who don't know what that's your guitar is, your lowest string is tuned to an E note, and then you tune it down until it's a D, and it makes every song one finger playable on the guitar.
Yeah.
So
Because it essentially makes your top two strings the same, right?
no, what it does is it makes them like a power chord, but only have, which a power chord is a two. I'm not going to give guitar lessons here, but it became a power chord. Instead of having to spread your two fingers apart to play a chord, all of a sudden now you just needed one finger to do it, and that's all you. I mean,
Because isn't the
songs.
the second string down on a guitar is a D, right?
third. So you got, it would be D A D. So the D and the A together are a fifth, which is the fifth note in the scale. That note right there, and they play them together and blah 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 fucking blah.
Right.
Anywho, so here is a song called Honey Bucket by the Melvins.
Okay. That's metal.
Yep. The drummer actually played on some early Nirvana stuff.
That's a punk drum beat, though.
Right.
Well, I will choke. Sorry, I got a sound by there.
It's all right, it's all right.
We had to listen to it all day yesterday. It's a metal voice. Yep.
I might want to kick a dog right now, that's all I'm saying.
Is this the lead singer of this band's got like a big afro,
big
right?
fro, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And there you go.
Nice.
It's simple to the point. Was there a chorus? We don't know.
I can picture the guys like I'm wondering if I'm getting confused with somebody else
Maybe.
because I thought they were much punkier.
As far as like their earlier stuff goes, I couldn't tell you. I believe this album was 92 or 3, somewhere in that. I think Kurt Cobain might have produced some of it or something, but I believe he got fired from working on it for being too fucked up. So, but they were friends, so. But yeah, Melvins, man.
Now 3 bands.
Yeah.
So, you know, as far as like understanding music and what it does for people. You know, music, and we've talked about, is one of those things that can evoke certain types of emotions, and music can kind of shape who you are as a person, right?
Oh, yeah.
And I truly believe that. And I probably should have played this song earlier in the heavy metal minivan because of its influence on me, like as a person who enjoys music and who enjoys rebellion, and who enjoys scaring their parents.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So I remember I got a T-shirt of this band when I was in the 6th grade from a girl that I was dating, and I thought my mom was going to lose her fucking mind. And I had the album, and there's some great songs on this album, but I mean, realistically, there's one that if you're going to play this artist, this is less about me and more about the spotlight on the artist and their contribution, because the other songs would not have been what they were without this song.
Okay.
Do you want to try to take a guess off the cuff of what I'm going to play next?
I'm going to say that I'm going to be wrong, but I wanted to say Marilyn Manson.
That's what I love about you. You know me.
Yeah.
Great drums in this song.
Yep.
Originally, first album didn't have a drummer. His vision was a drum machine.
Originally, they had the idea for a drum machine.
Yeah.
If you get the album Marilyn Manson and the Spooky Kids, or maybe it's just called the Spooky Kids, their old guitar player put it out. Yeah, there was a drum machine, but people told him pretty quick, you guys need a real drummer. They do use drum machines on the albums,
right,
but live they would have the drummer.
Portrait of an American Family, prior to this album, Antichrist Superstar, was a drummer as well. But drum machine, you know what I mean?
And they did great at mixing the two. Fantastic band, especially in this era. I will, full disclosure, acid is what got me into Marilyn Manson. So
as soon as he got tits, I kind of lost interest.
I love that album so much. But yeah, I get it.
Mechanical Animals, the Dope Show, and all that. That's not for me.
Yeah. And this shit was scary.
Oh yeah.
Come on.
There's a time to discriminate every motherfucker has to go. But I mean, in the pick, the anthem.
Oh yeah. This whole album from front to back is absolutely brilliant.
Full disclosure, my favorite song on the album is Tourniquet.
Okay, great tune. Great tune.
Man That You Fear is probably a close second.
Yep.
And then this. But this is Marilyn Manson.
Yeah. Yep.
This is him in the teddy ripping pages out of the Bible and
cutting himself with glass and
scaring the hell out of America and
hanging over the podium and doing the thing. And we needed something at that time to shake up music, and this did it.
Nobody did shock rock like you did, man.
No. There were many before him and many after him, but not like him. And now he's just fat.
And every week is getting in trouble again for touching somebody he shouldn't have. Or
let's be fair, he documented some of that shit in his books and stuff. So I mean, it was there. This is the first band that really had those elements of like electronic music and heavy. I mean, that shit, that's fucking scary. I love it. And
I don't remember what the lineup was at this point.
Oh, this was... He had Zim Zum on the guitar.
Yep. Madonna Wayne Gacy on bass.
Twiggy.
Yep. Twiggy on bass. Madonna Wayne Gacy was the drummer.
Keyboards. Gingerfish on the drums, and then Manson.
I always thought that was such a cool way to name things.
Yeah.
You know, half supermodel, half serial killer.
But then they got bored and John 5 just because he was their fifth guitar player.
Right.
Yeah, that made me absolutely love heavy electronic and like keyboards and shit. It showed me that you could do it in like this dark way that was still really fucking awesome. So I always go back to that album. I did love, obviously, Portrait. I love that one a lot. But I really did love Mechanical Animals. He went a little more mellow and kind of glam, I guess, at the time.
Yeah,
but,
like it.
yeah.
That was, I felt, so in that moment when I saw that, the pink stripe in the hair and the latex boobs, and like that was how you felt when you saw Metallica's Load. Like, that's not my Marilyn Manson.
Right.
I want my Marilyn Manson in yellow and black face paint like he was on the cover of Rolling Stone.
Yeah.
That him and Dave Navarro did lines on before they started each other's dead. You know what I mean? That's my Marilyn Manson. Like, the Dope Show was not my Marilyn Manson.
And I totally get that too. I mean, because he did it deliberately and for whatever reason, and ended up, I mean, it was like a trilogy of albums or whatever, and somehow it fit in the story and this Omega and the Mechanical Animals thing and blah, blah, blah. Whatever. I saw him on that tour. It rocked my goddamn face off. I also went to jail that night. First and only time. But that is a different story for another time. Trust me, it's not as exciting as you think. But yeah, fantastic choice, man.
Yeah, it's a good one. And that brings me back, man.
Yeah. Now this, some people will know the big song by these guys from the early 80s. They did a song called Institutionalized. It's been used a lot throughout the years. They even redid it, and then Ice-T and Body Count redid it.
The 2014 version is hilarious.
Yeah, with his like own word,
Yeah.
like his own lyrics,
like
and stuff
an
for it.
amazing homage to a great band with an Ice-T twist.
Yes.
You know?
I mean,
I just want to play a little Xbox. I was watching Oprah. They said if they play video games, don't love their wives. I'm like, fuck Oprah. Oprah ain't got no man.
Yeah. When that shit came
I
out,
think
I
you're
was
gonna
like,
make your problem. I think you should call the police now.
I was like, I don't have a problem with Body Count. I had the first album and stuff. Like, I thought they were pretty fun. Controversial as well.
Talented musicians.
Yes.
Like, those guys can
absolutely.
play.
Yeah.
You know?
And so when I saw them doing that, I was like, I mean, I like you guys, I respect you guys, but that's one you don't really touch. And he fucking did it.
They did it.
Yeah.
And
so,
see, but that's the thing, man. That's the thing with the cover. Why are you doing the cover?
yeah.
Like, what was your decision that you wanted to play this song?
Yep.
And like Weezer just did that cover album a year or so ago, you know?
Yep.
And they just played 6 songs the same way the other guys played. There's
The
not
same
even like
way,
a
yeah,
Weezer twist.
Yeah.
So like literally they do Toto's Africa. So Toto's like, all right, fine. They did Hash Pipe
Right.
better than Weezer. You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
like that was one of those songs where Ice-T was like, suicidal, we're gonna do this. And like and did it and did the song justice. And again, paid homage, but also like with its
Added
own
their
twist,
own flavor,
you
yeah.
know, and I love that too, man.
Yeah. Nothing
You
wrong
have
with
any
that.
idea how much salt is in that ham? Do you have any idea how much blood is in the human body? You want to find out, motherfucker? Oh, just so good. Classic Ice-T, man.
So, Suicidal started off as a big, I guess they were considered punk, but they also played a little bit of thrash. Their whole first album's kind of punky and thrashy. They got ripping guitar solos through the whole thing. But, like, they weren't really definable at the time. And it was kind of that first crossover between kind of metal and hardcore type of thing. And people would start going to the shows and, like, you'd have the, you know, the metal guys next to the punk guys. And it's, like, kind of the first time they started getting along. It wasn't like a line drawn in the sand anymore. That being said, throughout their albums, they started to get a little bit more metal as it went along. And maybe the best era being Lights, Camera, Revolution, but, and some will say that's their best album of all time, I will humbly, and not humbly, but I will, huh?
Not humbly. I was
Not
agreeing
humbly.
with
But I like to say humbly, so I'm going to say bumbly.
you. Humbly.
I don't even know what I was going at. Anyway, their follow-up album, to me, was their fucking masterpiece. And usually the experimental albums for bands are their shit ones, you know what I mean? But this one just hit me the right way. Has Josh Freese playing the drums on it. The album's called Art of Rebellion.
Who's Josh Freese? Is he from
Josh
somewhere
Freese,
else?
so he's played in A Perfect Circle. He's kind of been the all-around like fill-in guy. He's currently in the Foo Fighters. He just joined the Foo Fighters.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, fantastic drummer. Great drum sound. Can play anything. I mean, there's tons of bands he's played with, but this album, though, for me, was perfect. I think it's mixed perfectly and the production, but people shit on it. Regardless, this song is called...
Real quick, can you imagine the added pressure of joining a band whose beloved drummer has just died?
Oh, yeah.
That is completely controlled by the fucking drummer of Nirvana?
Right?
The pressure, the
walk
talent,
in on that.
Yeah, the amount of talent. Like, you know for a fact, it's documented that this guy has recorded an entire album with a drummer and then gone back and done all the drums himself because he didn't like the way they were done.
Yes.
Like, that's a huge pressure,
Yes.
man.
Well, this guy could fill that role like no other.
That's awesome.
Regardless, this entire song, it's very melodic. You got a lot of Mike Muir singing on this album as opposed to just kind of being like, what? So, I don't know.
Just wanted
I
a
love it.
Pepsi.
Yes, exactly. So this song is called Nobody Hears.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Fucking love the sound of the drums. They're just so snappy. Pouring his fucking heart out on his sleeve too. He's depressed.
I love that. Not that he's depressed, but I love this as an outlet.
Nothing gets washed away. Another plea put to rest. As nobody is, nobody is. So what did I tell you? That it makes you walk from me. Now I'm sitting here screaming inside myself. Can't understand why nobody hears. Rocky George on lead guitar, phenomenal guitar player. In a white-dominated shredding world, a black man coming out and shredding your face off. It's pretty great. Then it would be easy to find.
Check that text message real quick, sorry.
Sure.
Bottom right.
Uncle Pete.
Okay, cool.
The guitar is so heavy on this album. Oh. Robert Trujillo on bass. Nice sexy wah solo. fade out with a guitar solo and a double chorus.
Gotta love the fader.
And there you go.
And I've never been, I've never gotten out into that world either. Like I've never listened to their other stuff. It was kind of like maybe a smidge before me.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So.
Yeah, this was 1992. You know, all the big albums at the time kind of had that huge production. They were a little bit kind of more radio friendly than their previous albums. You know, Metallica just put out the Black Album. Ozzy put out No More Tears. And you have this band putting out, you know, The Art of Rebellion. And it is different. It's a little more mellow, a little more melodic. But there's some great fucking sounds on that album. And the guitars are just chunky and I don't know. I fucking love it. So.
I'm just a little bit disappointed because I get it that nobody hears, but like a year ago, your mom was in your room and she was like, "We think you need help." And he's like, "No, mom, I'm fine. I'm just thinking, you know."
Well, see, he was fine, but then when he needed somebody to be there, nobody was listening to him.
Okay,
so
that makes
you know,
sense.
poor Mikey, poor Psycho Myco. So there you go.
That concludes episode 6. 6.
Is it 6? We did
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes.
Okay.
6 of Heavy Metal Minivan. We hope you guys enjoyed it. Look forward to more. Jeremy and I don't get a lot of time alone, so we're trying to take as much advantage as we can.
There you go.
Hopefully this will tide you over until we can do it again. So,
Woo.
See you guys.
Bye.